I'm very unsure of myself most of the time, not certain if I'm saying the right things, if I am acting the right way, if I'm even supposed to be here, and it can all be very overwhelming.
Good afternoon. So I'm back. I wanted to talk about this topic. Hopefully, you don't mind. So, how to change your perspective when bad things happen. This could change your life. So, let's get into it. Let's see if we get some more people in the room. So, I know I've been a little MIA, but I have been on Patreon. I've been popping in and out of Discord. So, if I'm missing off of my main channel, I'm always going to be in Discord and I will be on Patreon for those that are interested. I also have my personal Instagram. I'm going to teach you how to make this sweet potato coconut milk milkshake. Y'all, when I tell y'all it's so good, oh my God. I put a little nutmeg in there. I put a banana in there. I put some sweet potato in there, some coconut milk, unsweetened coconut milk. And then I put some coconut sugar in there. Then I use some of my sugar-free vanilla syrup and this sugar-free cinnamon, I think it's cinnamon brown syrup. Girl, I'm gonna have to show y'all how to make that. I put some hemp seed oil in there, some nut butter oil. Nut butter in there. Ooh, wee. It was so good. I'm gonna be making that. So I'm gonna have to share that with y'all. So if you're interested in that type of content, it's on my personal Instagram. So I'll make sure to leave a link down below so that you could just click the Instagram. But I like to share recipes and like different things that I'm doing. Like right now, I'm juicing. This is my cabbage juice. I gotta be honest with y'all. It has an interesting taste. That's all I'm gonna say. It just has an interesting taste. But this is really good for like cancer. It's good for your digestive system and things like that. It has a lot of benefits. I just don't really care for the taste. I like my green juice better. So, yeah, but that's what I'm drinking on. I'm drinking cabbage juice today. Okay. Oh, by the way, I also tried the nowadays. If you know about the nowadays is a infused drink that has THC in it, 5 milligrams. That review is on my lifestyle Instagram, my personal Instagram page, if you're interested. The reason why I wanted to try it is because I'm not doing any alcohol and I wanted to see what type of experience this would give me. Y'all, it's better than an edible. It's better than smoking Mary Jane. It's better than CBD gummies. This is the best thing that they ever did. And you only need one serving. You don't need 2 and 3 servings. You only need one, which is good because it does have 2 grams of sugar. So that means, and I think it has like 3 carbohydrates, which would make it 6 net carbs, which is still not that bad. So if you're cutting back with alcohol or you're cutting back somewhere and you still want something that gives you like a nice little vibe, that is everything, y'all. You got to try that. You can even get the little mini bottles. You don't have to get the big bottle. Like I got the big bottle. I think the big bottle was like, I think I paid $50 for it. But you could get a small bottle. I think the smallest bottle that they had, you can even get the can if you want to. You don't have to get the big bottle. It's cheaper. You can get it at Total Wine. If you just want to try it out. But see, me, when I went into Total Wine, right? I thought they was out of stock. But I had to reach all the way in the back. They only had 2 bottles left. I said, oh, this is some good stuff because the only thing they had was like these variety packs. You could get 6 for, I think it was like $20 or something like that. Each can had 5 milligrams, but I wanted the bottle because I just want to get it, just take it straight. I don't want to feel like I have to drink or consume a lot. And so I tried. So when I got there, I was like, I might as well just get the bottle. But at the checkout, they had the little mini bottles, which were like $10. So Listen, try it. Just give it a try. I think it's better than anything I've ever tried. I woke up this morning feeling heavenly. I went to bed last night. I slept heavenly. I didn't have to use any white sounds, white noise, water sounds, or anything like that. It was great. Like I didn't feel high the next day or anything like that. It was just perfect. It wasn't too much. Doesn't give you like a head high or anything like that. It was very euphoric. I think that's what I want to say. It was just very, it was great. So just give it a try and see if you. Okay, so let's get into today's topic. I just wanted to see if more people would get in here. So today, uh-oh, let me make sure my audio is good. Okay, today, yeah, I have PTSD with my microphone. Today, I wanted to talk about how to change your perspective on why bad things happen. This could really change your life. This has changed my life because I used to be the type of person where when bad things would happen, I really thought it was the end of the world because that was how extreme I was in the mind, especially when bad things happen. Bad things happen. But over the years, through my spiritual journey, I have learned that bad things have happened to me, but it always set me up for greater things to take place in my life.
Hold me tight, let me go. In my heart, and my soul. Will never ever.
So this woman is saying here, no revenge, because anything bad that has ever happened to me led to the happiest versions of myself. Y'all, I have gone through hell and back. And it's just so crazy because it don't look like it, right? A lot of people think that because you don't wear what you've been through, you haven't gone through anything. I've been through hell and back. But one thing that I can honestly say I'm very grateful for is that the hell that I went through was not for just nothing. Like it didn't just happen to me for no reason. It really set me up to step into a better, happier version of myself. And I look back on certain things that I was experiencing at different points in my life. And if I would have taken a higher perspective on what was happening to me in my life, I would have seen the greatness. I would have seen the transformation. I would have seen the growth, the I would have seen the rebirth that was taking place within myself. I would have seen major change taking over within myself. But instead, when these things were happening to me, I took on the perspective based off of what was happening that I could see with my eyes, or because I was emotionally unstable. And I just have to be real with you. When you are emotionally unstable, and this is why I'm constantly telling you, heal, do your shadow work, work on yourself. It just makes your life easier. Sometimes when you're not in a good place emotionally, you can't take on a higher perspective. Your emotions cloud the higher perspective. If you don't heal from your trauma, the trauma will cloud your higher perspective. If you don't heal the pain that you are experiencing, the pain will cloud your higher perspective. You can't take on a higher perspective if you're blinded by these things. You will only feel the pain. You will only feel the emotional instability like depression and anxiety or worry or disappointment or unsatisfaction, whatever emotions that you're struggling with. You will only see or feel the pain. You cannot see the higher perspective. And a lot of times when we can't see the higher perspective, we tend to grow stagnant and bitter. And we tend to stay at this point. We tend to stay in this space. But if you were to heal, you would be able to take on a higher perspective that could actually alleviate any burdens that you may feel from the bad thing that has happened or the bad things that have happened to you within your life. This is going to transmute and transform your life, and it's going to create major change over your life. But the thing is, you have to choose it for yourself. But if you want to just sit in the pain, if you want to just sit in victimhood, because I've been a victim so many times in my life, there have been things that have happened to me that were completely out of my control. There was nothing I could have done. You know, you were truly a victim when something happens to you and it was out of your control. You did nothing to deserve what happened to you, but it still happened, right? And so we struggle to move past these victim experiences because it was something that hurt us, caused a lot of pain, trauma, in some cases PTSD, anxiousness. I remember when I went through my essay, it caused a lot of emotional instability. I didn't want to be touched. I didn't want to be hugged. I didn't want to be looked at. I just wanted to be invisible because honestly, I wanted to be dead. I did not want to live anymore. That's just where I was mentally. And so it takes a lot of strength to push past that, to get to a better place mentally. But a lot of times we sit in what happened, we sit in the emotions that come with that, we sit in the trauma that comes with that, and we just sit in the pain. We don't think that at some point we have to rise up and we have to take our power back, even when it's taken from us, or if someone feels like they can take it from us, you can get it back. It's a matter of you tapping into your inner strength, empowering yourself by moving forward and overcoming something that honestly could have broken you, because sometimes bad things happen and it gets us to a point where it could completely break us and we don't recover. But you have to look at it from a different perspective, because I came out a stronger person from that experience. Sometimes bad things happen and it's completely out of your control, but you do still have a choice afterwards. You can sit in that where someone took your power away from you, or you can transform yourself and empower yourself and take your power back. Those are the two choices that you have. A lot of times I see people who just want to sit in it. They just want to sit in what people have done to them. And it takes strength, because it takes a level of mental strength for you to really pull yourself out of that. So in most cases, I see people who take on the perspective that people give them. And I'm here to tell you that you don't have to take on the perspective that people give you. Now, what is the perspective that people give you? They give you experiences, right? People give you shitty experiences sometimes. Life gives you shitty experiences sometimes, aka like bad things. Now, you don't have to take that if you don't want to. See, we all get choices. Even though I've been through bad things in my life, I don't choose to take on the perspectives that people wanted to give me. I choose to create a better perspective by taking on a higher perspective instead of just sitting and taking what people want to dish to me, because I don't have to do that. So, how can you take on a different perspective? Sometimes people come into your life, they give you a shitty experience, right? They cheat, they betray you, they manipulate, they try to abuse you, right? And you can take on that experience and you can take on the perspective that comes with that experience, or you can rise above it and take on a totally different experience. So let me use some examples. I've experienced a lot of betrayal in my life from both men, women, family, friends, and lovers. One common thing that I noticed with betrayal, and I'm always going to use this as an example because it's so real to me. These people who betrayed me did me a favor. I don't look at them as people that did something bad to me. I look at them as people who need to grow in life. They are toxic, but they did a favor to me, because where I want to go and who I am, I don't want to be surrounded around people like that. So if they showed me who they are and they are not in alignment with who I am and where I want to be, they did me a favor. They didn't do me a disservice. Was it really a bad thing? No, it wasn't. It was truly a blessing. Me taking on that perspective instead of the perspective of they hurt me, they betrayed me, they cheated on me, they backstabbed me. I don't have to take on that perspective. I don't have to take on the perspective that they want to give me through the experience that they gave me. I can take on the perspective that they did me a favor. And I believe that. It's not even something that I have to try to convince myself. If you really heal and you take on a higher perspective, you will really see how they did you a favor and you will really believe it. And so when you do that, there's a lot of weight that lifts off your shoulders, because the thumbnail is a girl that's laying in bed and she just looks so miserable and dissatisfied. Most people do bad things to you in hopes that that is how you turn out, in bed and miserable, sad, depressed. You don't have to take on that experience, and you don't have to take on that perspective if you choose not to. And again, it is your choice. We all get a choice. And so you also have to understand that sometimes bad things create a pivotal moment in your life that can truly transform it for the better. I have noticed that when bad things happen to my life or have happened in my life, it created a pivotal moment in my life for me to elevate. Every time a bad thing happened, it created an opportunity for me to elevate. I was literally being pushed to elevate in order for me to deal with the bad thing that's happening. So right now, I am going through something as we speak, and it is literally creating a elevation over my life. Seriously. Like, this is probably one of the honestly one of the most heartbreaking experiences that I'm experiencing and witnessing. Never thought in my life I would ever experience or witness this, but it's happening. And it's pushing me, and it's a bad thing. It's pushing me to elevate more. It's pushing me to communicate better. It's pushing me to show more compassion, show more understanding, show more patience. How you choose to deal with bad things can truly change your life. When you just take on the experience and you just take on the perspective that people give you, it does nothing for you at all. It just keeps you stuck and stagnant, and it keeps you sad. It keeps you feeling like hopeless. There's no hope when you just accept what people want to give you. You don't have to. And you know what's crazy is, especially with betrayal, I've seen people like betray me and they're satisfied. Like, there's a level of satisfaction in their behavior, their energy towards you, just in the way that they did it. Like, there was a level of satisfaction, like, oh, I did her in, and now she will break, or she will stop, or she will have to like it will throw her off, or it will take her out of this, oh, she's on a high horse thing. It never did. It only elevated me. It's almost like being pressured, and then all of a sudden you turn into a diamond. The pressure of the weight of the world and the people in it, the pressure got so great, that, or so intense, that it just created a diamond. Every single time that has happened, but that's because that's the choice that I decided to take, depending on the experience. I never had to take the experience or the perspective that they wanted to give me, because I noticed that the level of satisfaction, like, some people really want to go out and hurt you. I've like literally seen it. And they will literally go out of their way to hurt you. They want to hurt you. And that is the experience, that is the perspective that they want you to have, but you don't have to receive it that way. And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand, is that you don't have to take on anything that you don't want to. You can create and you can change it into something else. People can set the intent for you to receive something a certain type of way, but you don't have to receive it that way if you don't want to. Like, if somebody is to go out and cheat on me, I'm going to receive it as, this person isn't for me. Not, oh my God, this person cheated on me. It's something wrong with me. I'm not pretty. I'm not beautiful. That's a choice that you're deciding to take on when it comes to somebody cheating on you, because you're making it negative when you could make it positive by saying, oh, that person cheated on me. They're not for me. And then you just move on. But no, I've seen women say, oh, he cheated on me. My sex wasn't good enough. I wasn't doing enough. Why are you taking on that perspective? Why are you just not taking on the perspective that that person simply is not for me? That's it. That's it. But no, you're choosing, because again, it's about choices. You're choosing to take it on that way, and you don't have to. You don't have to. So, have you ever thought about how bad things happen for greater things to happen? Bad things happen for greater things to happen. Bad things happen so good things can happen. Because if you really look at the world and you look at how the world is truly set up, it's all about balance, alignment, harmony. So you have night, you have daytime. You have nightfall, you have daylight. You have yin, you have yang. You have four elements: air, fire, water, earth. Everything has to balance out, right? So bad things are always going to happen. But have you realized or have you accepted that sometimes bad things simply happen for greater things to happen for you? But are you willing to go through that bad thing and take on the higher perspective instead of the lower perspective? Are you willing to take on the higher perspective to truly change your life? Because you have the choice to do that. So sometimes I've noticed with my own journey that when bad things happen, it created a pivotal change in my life where it had me go in a totally different direction. But the direction that I was headed in was way better than the direction that I was currently in at that particular time before the bad thing happened. Like I was going this way, and then the bad thing happened, and then I went this way. And I'm like, wait a minute, this I like this over here. I don't know why I didn't take this way. I don't like, what was I thinking? I should have went this way to begin with. Why did I go that way? Sometimes bad things happen because that's not where you're supposed to be in life. Sometimes bad things happen because that's not who you're supposed to be with. Sometimes bad things happen because you were never supposed to be friends with those people. Sometimes you lose that job because that wasn't God's true blessing for you. That wasn't the work environment for you. Those were not the coworkers for you. That was not the boss for you. That wasn't the job for you. When bad things happen, it could save your life. Like sometimes we experience bad things because it's protection. You're being protected. But you have to believe that bad things are happening for you and not to you. Because once you start to change your perspective on bad things happening for you instead of to you, you'll really start to change your life, and you'll start to always take on that higher perspective instead of that lower perspective. The lower perspective is going to keep you in victimhood, scarcity mindset, hopelessness. It may even cause you to take on an extremist mindset where you feel like the world is coming to an end when it's really not. And that's the frequency that you're on, and that's where you're going to stay. But when you take on a higher perspective, right, and you say bad things are happening for me, not to me, you're going to continue to elevate and attract better experiences that come from those bad things. But when you take on the lower vibration, you're going to continue to attract those lower vibrational experiences. Take on the higher vibrational experience and perspective and see if you don't attract better. I've done it every single time, and it truly has changed my life. I find myself being more happy, less depressed. You're talking to a girl that I felt like I was depressed majority of my younger adult years. Seriously, from I say starting, I think I started becoming depressed around 15 years old, and then I honestly can't remember when I stopped being depressed. Honestly, probably like 23, I want to say 23, 24, somewhere in there was when I stopped the chronic depression, high functioning depression. Probably around that time, but that's when I started really getting into spirituality. That really changed my life, like doing things that made me feel more grounded, like spiritual baths, meditation, visualization, just getting into those I would say balancing my energy, like really doing more energy work really helped with my depression and anxiety, like a lot. breathing exercises. It changed my life. Like I can't remember the last time I've had like a depressed episode where I'm bed rotting, I'm binge eating, and I'm just sulking in my own misery. Like I honestly cannot remember the last time. And it sounds so crazy to say because at a point in time, that's all I knew. Like I didn't know anything else. I thought bed rotting, binge eating, sulking in my own misery. I literally thought that was like the thing to do, and it was just so normal. And then self-isolating myself, that was like a routine of mine. And it also took on I would have to say I took on that approach by opening my mind up to different practices, because at that point, I think around 23 was when I decided to look into some other things, because praying was not enough. Like, I just got to be honest with you. Praying was not enough. Scripture was not enough for me. It just was not. I had to do more for myself, which required me to step outside of my comfort zone and not think that everything's bad, especially if it could help me. So I was like, okay, let me just be open to new things. So I was opening my mind to new things, and it really did save my life. So again, I think the last time I've ever had a depressed episode was probably 23, bed rotting, binge eating, just soaking in my misery, laying in bed, feeling hopeless and just miserable and sad, and just thinking about how I'm missing out. Like, and then I'm isolating myself, just completely miserable, honestly, sleeping all day, sleeping into the next day. I've done it. I know what it's like. And honestly, this is why I am making this live. I believe in prayer, but I also believe in being proactive. I believe in some scriptures, but I also believe in being proactive. Like, you can believe in these things, but you have to also do work on yourself to really call these beliefs to you, I guess you could say, like, to attract better for you. You have to put things into action. Therapy did help, but again, I didn't start getting therapy until 28 and a half was when I actually started getting therapy. And then my therapist opened me up to so much with that experience as well. But again, 23 was when it really started for me. And that changed my life a lot. So I'm not trying to influence you to do anything that you don't want to do, but be open to trying new things when it comes to your mental health and really protecting yourself mentally. Because this year, I keep warning the girls that your mental health is going to be under attack this year. We are going to be triggered. To my girls that struggle mentally and emotionally, you're going to need to protect yourself this year. They're going to throw everything at you. And at this point, if you don't see how they just throwing stuff and they're trying to see what can stick. Oh, this is going to stick. This is going to stick. And Black women, they're targeting you more than anybody. You are aware that they are targeting you more than anybody because they want you to get on the front lines. Okay, so they're going to be triggering you to get on the front lines. That is what is taking place. That is what they want you to do, because they feel it's so crazy how because Black women are so nurturing and protective. We are sovereign women. That is what we are. People lean on us and have a level of entitlement while doing so, because we're always the ones there to hold people together, to bring support and to bring love and compassion and protection. Let's be real. And so I'm noticing, if you notice, you have all of these group of people looking like, okay, when they gonna get on the front lines. We not doing that. That's not what we're doing. This is the year of the 9. Year 9 is about rejuvenation, hermit mode, and it's about relaxation. You're supposed to be relaxing. This is year 9. This is not the time to be all up in the mix, and that's not our ministry this year. Okay, that is not our ministry. I don't know why people are looking into us for anything, to be honest. I have no idea. Y'all let me know. because it's just getting ridiculous. I'm just like, and then DEI programs, right? The DEI programs did not help Black women. It helped white women. Okay. So we saw how they voted. They voted against their own interests. I don't know what y'all expect for us to do. I mean, they looking at us and I'm looking at them. They looking at us and I'm looking at them, and they looking at us and I'm looking at them. This is what y'all wanted. I'm staying out of y'all's business. That's what I'm doing. Because a lot of people, they think that DEI was for us. It was for white women. It was for the Caucasian women. It was not for us. So they voted against that. So I'm assuming that that's what they wanted. So I'm gonna stay out of it. I'm gonna mind my business. That's what I'm gonna do. Because they were that's who that program was for. And a lot of these government programs, like, let's be for real. I mean, let me break it down even simpler, right? Whenever there's like a new beauty machine that's being used for like anti-aging or any type of like any type of invasive beauty enhancements that you can use to make yourself appear more youthful or more beautiful or whatever like that, who do they make them for first? Do they make them for us, or do they make them for Caucasian women? They make them for Caucasian women. So the same thing goes when it comes to these government programs. A lot of these government programs are not for Black women, they're for white women. So if you voted against that, I'm assuming that is what you wanted. I'm not going to get involved in that. So listen, bad things happen. Bad things happen. Take on a bigger perspective. Now, how can all of the chaos that's happening here in the United States, how can this help Black women? It can help us by seeing how it's showing you how people like to use us and take advantage of us when it's convenient. It's exposing to you how you've been used and how you're not really appreciated. So now people are looking like, what we gonna do? They literally are wanting us to move first so then they can rally behind us. But we're in a new season where these other women, they need to be at the very forefront. And one thing that I noticed about non-Black women, they don't know how to fight for themselves. A Russian woman told me this years ago. She booked a mentor session with me, and she said that I relate to Black women because I'm a sovereign woman. I'm Russian. And I'll never forget that conversation because I was just like, what the hell? Like it was like a culture shock. She said, I relate to Black women because your outspokenness, you're sovereign, you're very smart, you are innovative. I will never forget that conversation. So I noticed that non-Black women and really it's Caucasian women, they don't know how to fight for themselves. So they're going to be looking to us to fight for them. This is not our job to do that. It's really not. And it's exposing the culture dynamic, the historical relationships between white women and Black women, and how we have always been used when it comes to these type of movements. And we're just not doing that anymore. And you want to know how this is truly helping Black women, African American Black women, particularly, because this goes all the way back to slavery. We are breaking a cycle. We're breaking a collective cycle as we speak. That is what we're doing, because we need to get rid of this entitlement. It's ridiculous. It's been going on for decades, for centuries. So us not doing anything is us breaking a cycle. And I don't care how bad it gets, because that's what this live is all about. Well, how to change your perspective when bad things happen? Well, when it comes to all the bad shit that's happening in the United States and Black women don't lift a freaking finger, you are breaking a generational cycle that needs to be broken. So let the shit burn. And sometimes when it comes to bad things happening, right, you'll see how things will come in and destroy everything. Sometimes bad things come in and it literally destroys everything in sight. And you know what? Maybe that's what needs to happen. Maybe we need to sit back and just watch everything burn down. Because then when things burn down, then there's this thing where you rebuild. You rebuild. And at that point, lessons can be learned through this experience, right? Like Black women not be taken for granted. Black women are appreciated for what we do, right? So let it burn down to the ground. Sometimes destruction is also a blessing. Again, bad things happening. So let things burn down. Let all of this. If the United States wants to go up in flames, I'm a light a blunt. I'm going to sit back and just light a blunt and just cross my legs and just wait for everything to happen and just do this. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not lifting a finger. I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna just be like, okay. That's what I plan on doing. I don't plan on doing anything at all. That's what I plan on doing this year. Because again, Black women, I want you to understand with all the bad things that's happening and you not lift a finger, you are breaking a generational cycle. That is what this is all about. And you know what's so crazy? Collectively, we are all on the same page. A new world is emerging and it's going to come with us being respected. Yeah, it's going to come with us being valued. So when bad things happen, is it really a bad thing? That's why you got to change your perspective. Changing your perspective can change your life. So is all the bad things in America happening just really so terrible after you just heard all of that? No, it's not. It's not. We're breaking a generational cycle. This is long overdue. You have been preparing energetically for this for the last few years. Honestly, I know my collective, we've been talking about healing and doing our shadow work and working on ourselves and self-care and like really pouring more into ourselves and not giving so much and preserving our energy. So now with year 9, this is the biggest test that we are going to face collectively. And it all requires you to not do anything at all. And with you doing that, you are breaking a generational cycle and we are moving into a new world and you're setting yourself up to be valued and respected for what you do, what you bring. So then you won't keep getting asked stupid questions like, well, what do you bring to the table? Those conversations won't be happening anymore. So continue to value yourself by not doing anything at all, by taking care of yourself, pouring into yourself and preserving your energy. Because that's what this year is all about. Okay? That's what it's all about. Okay? Things right. She's saying, Cinderella Hour is saying, I always say things seem like they're falling apart, but they're really falling into place. And that's what's happening right now. Everyone, listen, everybody else in the world, they can freak out, but listen. One thing about a Black woman, she always gonna make a way. That's what I know. These other women, they should be very concerned. This is just another day for us. This is just another day. We are Black women. If they only knew that we've been like, this is nothing. This is really nothing for us. Like, honestly, it's nothing for us. We do. This is just another day.
Realize that most people are not living in reality, a lot of things will start to make sense. All of these male execs in leadership positions that have sexual harassment and sexual assault cases, yeah, babe, they're on cocaine. Your lawyers, your doctors, your real estate agents, your salespeople, they're on the powder. Some of your gym bros, the gym girls, just a wee bit of steroids. Girls that you're always beefing with, they're on antidepressants and anxiety meds. And you're still wondering why there are men out there that can't show an ounce of empathy. They can't acknowledge your feelings. Babe, they can't feel anything. And that's the point. They don't want to feel anything. There's a lot out here to feel. People don't want to feel things. I just want you to be aware that most people's perceptions of reality are so distorted to the point where most of us are not even living in the same timeline. Reality is a concept. Everyone's version of reality is different. And whatever you want yours to be, it can be that. As crazy as things seem right now, don't take it too seriously. Enjoy your life.
So basically, the reason why I'm playing that video is what reality do you want to live in? Because you have a choice in what reality you live in. There are so many different realities that you can live in, but it's your choice. So you can live in the choice where you're depressed, you're in bed and you're bed rotting, you're binge eating, and you are sulking in your own misery. Or you can choose a different reality where you're grateful and you're thankful for the experience because you know that it's changing your life and it's pivotal. It's creating a pivotal moment for you to go in a better direction, in a greater direction, towards your higher self, in a life that you truly want to live, in a life that's truly for you. So it's all about how you choose to take on that perspective. And again, sometimes bad things happen so greater things can happen. Sometimes bad things happen so transformations can happen. Sometimes bad things happen so that you can change course. Sometimes bad things happen because it's transforming you into a better person. Sometimes bad things happen because it's to balance your life out. It's to, it could be a wake-up call. It could be to better your health. It could be to better your relationships with people. Sometimes bad things happen to set you up for greater things to take place in your life. And like I said, this year, Black women, we're breaking this generational cycle where we're not valued, we're not appreciated for the things that we do. And I don't care if people keep looking at us to see what we're going to do. They can continue to look at us and we not do anything at all. And you'll start to see how they used us for decades, centuries. They used our mothers, our grandmothers, our great grandmothers. They used our ancestors. That is what they did. And so you're not just taking a stand for yourself. You're taking a stand for every woman in your generation that was on the front lines, that risked their life, and they were not valued and appreciated. So this is your year 9, that is truly centered and focused around rejuvenation. With all the chaos that's going on, year 9 is about rejuvenation. Year 9 is about hermit mode. It's about taking on a spiritual perspective. That's what this year is all about. So rest, take care of yourself, honor your ancestors by not doing anything at all. Honor the women in your family, in your bloodline that sacrificed while not being valued and appreciated. Light them candles, do a ceremony for them of some kind, and just show your love and appreciation for everything that they did. As we work through year 9 with all the chaos and everything that's happening, it's truly a blessing for us. It may not be a blessing to everybody else, but it's a blessing for us spiritually, because we're breaking this cycle that has been on us, that's been placed on us, that has created so many negative stereotypes for us, like the strong, independent Black woman, the angry Black woman, the superwoman Black woman. We're literally breaking that generational cycle as we enter into this new world, as we complete year 9. And then when year 1 starts, people will be humming a different tune, because there is so much that's in store for this year of 2025. This is just February. So we have so many more stuff to work through. Well, really for them to work through. We're just witnesses at this point. And we're just going to see like what happens. We're going to see, and we just need to sit down and we just need to relax and we need to just truly focus on ourselves. So that's all I really wanted to talk about when it comes to bad things happening. If you have any questions, let me know. You can send me, if you don't want to put it on the screen, you can send me a Cash App. I don't know how when it comes to the Cash Apps, I don't know if it has like a letter. Like, I don't know if you can write out a full message or what, but let me know. You can join Patreon. I'll make sure there should be a link in my description boxes. There should be a link in my description box to join Patreon if you're interested. Patreon for the first tier is $7. I do readings. I like to do oracle messages on there. I like to talk about different like spiritual topics. Sometimes they're esoteric, sometimes they're conspiracy theories, sometimes they're just thoughts and just my spiritual ideas and things like that. And then the second tier is we do candle work. So this Valentine's Day, I'm doing a workshop, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. So we're going to be manifesting new friends. Yes, friendships, new connections, new relationships. We're going to be affirming, because I wrote it down. Oh, I am aligned with friends that bring joy, love, and mutual support. And then we're also affirming, I attract beautiful, loving, and aligned, because that's so important, friendships that bring joy, understanding, and support into my life. So that's what we're going to be doing with the friendship workshop. That's going to be on Valentine's Day. I'm really excited about that. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on. If you're interested, alignment is so important. That's why you have to be very detailed when you are affirming what you're trying to manifest into your life. And so you want to align friendships because you want to be able to grow within your friendships. So that's what we're going to be focusing on when it comes to this workshop. So all of that information is on my Patreon. I recently did a reading. It was a mystery message reading. And then I recently did the workshop supplies, like everything that you'll need for the workshop, which will be on Valentine's Day. And then the next thing will be the workshop after that. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm trying to see, did I miss any other questions? And like I said, if you want to be discreet, you can send me a Cash App. I just don't know how many, there's like a character limit or a letter limit. I don't know. So let me know. If not, I'm going to log out. Oh, by the way, I will be mentoring. So my books are closed right now. Closed because a bad thing happened, y'all. I can't even talk about it. I cannot. It has to do with family health issues, and it's just not something that I want to talk about publicly yet. I'll talk about it later, but it literally happened the 6th day on January. So I'm just like, oh my God. So I needed some time to take care of myself and be there for my family. So I will have my books open for now. They will be open starting in March. Okay. Okay. Thank you, V. That is so sweet. Okay. What dating and health advice would you give a 21-year-old? The best advice I would give you for dating at 21 is when you date, make it about you. Don't make it about getting the guy and falling in love. Make it about learning about yourself. That is the best advice that I can give you. Date up. I would not date your age. Dating your age, the only thing you can attract at that age is a headache. That's it. And a broken heart. So date up. Honestly, that's really it. But when you do date, don't take on the perspective to date for love or for romance or any of that. date from a place of getting to know yourself. Because when you meet people, especially men, it can bring out a different side in you that maybe you didn't even know existed. How we are with certain people is not how we are with other people. And it's the same thing with dating men or women, if that's your thing. Just dating people in general. Just make it about you, less about getting the guy and less about love and all of that, because you're still young. Now, if you were over the age of, I say 25 and up, then I'm like, okay, you need to be making it like more serious while also still dating to learn more about yourself. But really, truly at 21, I would really date to learn more about myself, like what I like, what I don't like, what I would want in a partner, what I don't want in a partner. It would really be about that, how I want to show up in relationships. Like it can really help you when it comes to your identity in relationships, because that's what you really want to focus on. Yes, this will definitely be staying up. I don't think we've ever been taught how to date from that perspective. We've always been taught to date from the perspective of getting married and all of that, which I mean, you can still do that. But when you're young, I really feel like you should date to learn more about yourself. It's kind of similar to dating solo, but then you get a different experience when you date other people, because again, different people can bring out different sides to you. So just be open-minded and make sure you don't just date your type, like really date and explore your personality by dating different people, different types of people at that. Um, okay. How to be best refocus after a setback. I'm trying to learn a new language but feel defeated. Setbacks happen because the timing is not right. So sometimes setbacks take place in our life and we think it's we're being stopped or something, we're being blocked from something. And it sometimes setbacks simply just happen because the timing wasn't right. So if you're learning a new language but you feel defeated, maybe it's because you're trying to rush through this, or it could be that the timing is not right. Get more in harmony with yourself, be more in flow, and allow this to just take place naturally. Learn the language from a place of not force, but flow. And as a woman, we live in a system and the system makes us very hard, right? But how we operate in it can be very feminine if we allow ourselves to be. And sometimes we can come across very forceful because we want to get things done or we want to have certain experiences and things like that. So you're going to really have to practice taking a step back. And maybe that's what the setback is all about, is to help you get into flow instead of being into this forceful energy where you're trying to learn a new language. Like let it really truly come to you. Romanticize the experience as well. Like don't just learn a new language, cook in the culture, watch different shows and things like that in the culture. Like make your life about it. And that can be a very feminine way to take on learning a new language. So just take it slow. Don't overthink it and just trust the process. Okay. What advice would you give to someone who is scared to travel solo? Oh my God. Well, first of all, go ahead and order that fake Amazon ring so you can wear that Amazon ring on your wedding finger. So when you travel, it can look like you're married. Also, when you book under a man's name, his first and last name, and you go ahead and book under your real last name and just make it seem like you paid for it. Whenever you book a stay, always make it seem like there's a man that is staying with you, even if he never comes. When you go on the solo trip, always be like, oh, my husband's going to meet me here. My husband is going to be here. Oh, he's running late, but he'll be here. Just like always play that up and things like that. Don't be afraid to join travel groups first to kind of get your feet wet. And then once you get your feet wet with traveling, then kind of branch off and go solo and things like that. I'm all for protection. And when you start to solo travel, start with short trips. Start with little local trips to get you comfortable with traveling alone. You don't have to, like, your first solo trip, I wouldn't say go out of the country. I would say like go to New Orleans or go to LA, or well, not right now. Oh my God. Go to Chicago or go somewhere local and make it a short trip so that you can get comfortable with traveling solo, so you can get the rope of things. And then if you wanted to travel outside of the country, do a travel group first, get familiar with how everything is kind of done, how things go, how they operate and things like that. Then do your first solo trip, because what you're doing is you're gaining confidence, and you have to gain the confidence through experience. And sometimes our fear kind of holds us back. So we kind of have to build ourselves up so we can get to that point of really solo traveling. So just make short little, I say create short little trips for yourself, and then work your way up, build that confidence up, and then create like a bigger trip, like I don't know, a week stay somewhere. But don't be afraid to get that little Amazon ring so you can act married and be like, oh, my husband, he's going to meet me here. He had to work, and, just overshare, but overshare with like, oh, my partner is coming or something like that. How do you deal with the almost 39 anxiety? I'm 28 and I feel a lot of pressure to have it all, especially settling down. Okay. Okay, so first and foremost, I always, when people are dealing with anxiety, I always want to ask them, where do you think it stems from? Like, is it just you thought your life was going to be this by a certain age? Or is it because you're bored? Is it because you feel like this is just the next step in your life? Like, why do you feel that pressure? Where is that pressure truly coming from? Do you feel like you're missing out? Where's the pressure, like, to have it all? Where does that come from? Was it how you were raised? Is it your trauma? Where does the pressure coming from? Because in order for you to deal with something, you have to get to the root of the issue. And on the surface level, it could be pressure to have it all, but underneath it could be, I always felt like I was in lack, or I always felt like I wasn't good enough, or I always felt like I was going to miss out on this or miss out on that. Get to the root of why you're experiencing this pressure. Like, where is it coming from? Is it family? Is it family? Is it your friends, like family members too, where you're seeing them kind of elevate, get married, and kind of like have it all, and you're wondering, well, when is my time going to be? Where does that pressure come from? How can I get over feeling unmotivated? I have dreams and goals, but I feel like I don't want to do anything. Are you experiencing burnout? Black women particularly, I see this with us a lot. We are high functioning so much. We high function in dysfunction. And it's because we're always surviving, right? Like, even with everything that's going on in America, we're like unfazed by it because we're always surviving. What are you doing within yourself that is getting rid of this burnt out feeling? Because a lot of times we're not unmotivated. We're tired. We're overworked. Our energy is drained. Look at your daily routine and ask yourself, am I just unmotivated, or am I just tired? Sometimes the lack of motivation comes from the lack of pouring into yourself. How can you get the motivation if you're not going to pour into yourself? You got to pour into yourself. That motivation will come. So maybe you're putting too much focus and fixation on other people. You're giving too much of your energy away. Because I used to be that type of person where I want to help everybody. I want to bring everybody on. And honestly, it was draining my energy. You're welcome. So yeah, like your environment is huge. Your environment is huge. So maybe you need to change some things around to get that motivation. If you've been sleeping a lot lately, that could be signs of depression, but you could be high functioning when it comes to your depression, meaning you're functioning, but you're still depressed, meaning you're not just bed rotting in the bed. You're going to work, you're doing everything that you need to do, but maybe you're feeling depression. It could be the winter blues. This is really not the time to really start anything. Spring is when you really should start. But if you just feel so unmotivated, maybe it's because you're supposed to be resting. Maybe you're not supposed to be doing anything at all right now in this season. It just depends on where you are spiritually. So keep that in mind as well. Okay. How do you do? Okay, wait, I already answered that one. Did she pop back in here? Okay, maybe. Let me see. Oh yeah, that is so true. Um, Also, to add more to that question, because my therapist says anxiety stems from not being in the present because we don't control the past or the future. One thing that has truly helped me with accepting where I'm at in life, even though it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, like it wasn't in the direction that I thought I was going to go in, but this is the direction that God has for my life, and I've just accepted it. I had to surrender. A lot of women don't want to surrender. And you have to surrender. You have to release this control. And listen, you're talking to somebody that has control issues. Okay. I have control issues. That is something that I have. I want to control things because I am traumatized. I have been traumatized. When you are traumatized and bad things have happened to you, against without your consent, or you had no control, you had no say in it, that's when you're truly a victim. Well, when you become a victim a lot in your life, right, when people make you a victim a lot in your life, you develop control issues because you want to control things so bad things don't happen. And sometimes that translates into how your life should be going. But I'm going to tell you now that you have to release and surrender the control over your life, because I see a lot of women wanting to put a lot of focus into things that they have no control over. You have no control over meeting a man. You have no control over, or when it comes to being asked for marriage, you have no control over that. So why are you putting so much focus on those two things? And you know what you're doing? You're causing the anxiety because it's not something that's in your control. So when you surrender, you give that you give up that control. You give that control, you give up that control, and you give it up to a higher being like God, your ancestors, your angels, whatever you believe in. You have to release it, because you're fighting against divine order in your life. That's what you're fighting. You're fighting divine order. There is a video in my Patreon where I actually talk about this. Let me see if I can pull it up, because I talk about divine order, and a lot of women want to fight divine order. And then again, have you ever thought that divine order in your life, like you not being married, you not having kids, it's protection? Because if you want something now and God is like, this is not what I have for you right now, but you try to force it, because that's what you want to do. And then you find yourself in a situation that's not favorable to you. You don't like it. You're not happy. Now you want to get a divorce. You want a way out. Let me see. I'm trying to find it. I know I put it in here. Well, I thought I did. Oh, here it is. Let me pull it up. It's easier to put it on either Wednesday or Friday. I haven't decided. But one of those days, I wanted to talk about removing myself from a timer, a timeline, a matrix, no longer allowing myself to subconsciously live in a system, freeing myself subconsciously from a system and allowing natural order to take course in my life. It's something that I've been wanting to talk about, but I know a lot of women are not going to be happy with this conversation because it rips you from the system's fantasy of marriage, kids. Now, I know I'm going to get the question, do you want to get married? Part of this reprogramming was the goal isn't to get married. The goal is to be married to the right person. And one thing I learned about the matrix, the system, and how we live in like this systematic structure is that we are so far away from natural order. And one thing that I do know and understand, that natural order has purpose. Natural order is purpose. Natural order is the purpose for my life. And I am at a place where I just want to accept that. And before, growing up, I was conditioned at a very young age to be controlling, to even somewhat be manipulative. And it's just part of the conditioning, it's part of the programming. And the reason it's like this is because you want a certain outcome, you are banking on a certain outcome. And if you don't get that outcome, then you are not happy in life, honestly. And so we get programmed to manipulate the quote unquote system to get what we want. But I'm taking a different approach. The approach that I'm taking is to release control, surrender, and allow natural order to take course over my life. I don't know where that's going to land me. I have no idea where I'm going to end up, but I know it's the natural order in my life. So it's different because I have to release control. And the main issue that I struggled with this was I could not let go of controlling the outcomes that I wanted. And the reason this was so hard for me to surrender and let go of control was because there were certain outcomes that I desired, like marriage, like kids. So this was hard for me. This was not easy at all. But I feel lighter. I feel free. I feel liberated because these things that we want, it's 100% out of our control. It's 100% out of our control. And most people have a hard time accepting this because they feel there's something that they can do to gain control, to manipulate a certain type of outcome. But we were never meant to be able to do that. And life is not supposed to be lived that way. It's just based off of the system. Now, why is the system shaped and structured like this? Capitalism. It costs to get married. It costs to have kids. And then also for the rich, it is also beneficial for them to encourage us to procreate as much as we would like, as much as we can, because it creates workers. It creates workers in the system. So I get the concept and I understand it completely, fully. But I'm going to take a step back from forcing things, controlling things, and allowing natural order to take place. Natural order is nature. Natural order is what I see in animals, in insects, in plants. So I'm allowing that to take place over my life. Like I said, I don't know where I'm going to end up. I don't know how this is going to end, but I am excited because I don't know. I get giddy about the unknown. I get giddy about what's on the other side. I don't know. And I'm okay with that. And I think the reason why I'm okay with this is because like I really let go of control. I really surrendered to this life experience. And I don't know what life experience I actually signed up for. I'm just here experiencing it. And I don't know what's ahead. I don't know what's to come. I don't know what my life is going to be, what my life story is going to be. Like, I have no idea. But I'm at this place in my life where I'm allowing natural order to take over. And I get to sit back on cruise mode and allow whatever to happen. And it's not that I don't have boundaries, standards, and somewhat expectations, but my expectations are only created when I'm in that particular position, situation, or I'm living in the present moment. All right, cool. I can have expectations, but I no longer have expectations over things that don't exist. If it's not existing in my reality right now, in this moment, I don't have any expectations. This is me releasing control. This is me allowing natural order to take place in my life. And I also had to tweak some things. Like people ask me, do you want to get married? Do you want to have kids with the right person? And I believe that if I allow natural order to take place in my life, if marriage is the natural order in my life, then it will be with the right person, because I don't want to be married to the wrong person. I don't want to have kids with the wrong person. And I'm okay with it being like this because I wouldn't be happy in any other way. Like if I got married to the wrong person, I would be miserable. If I had kids with the wrong person, I would be miserable. And a lot of people just focus on these things and not, but is it with the right person though? Or did you just get married? Did you have kids with the right person? Or did you just have kids? And I know I would not be happy. I would be bitter and miserable if I got married to the wrong person. I would be bitter and miserable if I had kids by the wrong person. So I surrendered. I released control and I'm taking a step back. I'm in cruise mode and I'm allowing natural order to take its place in my life. And it's the best feeling ever. Like it's so peaceful. I'm only worried about what's happening in my life right now. I'm not living my life according to a husband that I don't have, kids I don't have, a career I don't have, money that I don't have, the body that I don't have, the hair that I don't have. I am only living in this reality, in this moment with myself. That is it. And it doesn't go any further than that. And of course, I have goals, but my goals are in alignment with just being balanced in life, having harmony, being in alignment, being in purpose, being on path. And that's as far as it goes. And if anything else comes into my life, then it was natural order. And it was, I guess, what I signed up for before I came here. That's how I'm seeing it. And by me living my life like this, it took a lot of mental strength to let go of control because I love control. Bad things have happened to me when I did not have control. So this was hard. I love controlling things. I love trying to manipulate and control outcomes because when I went with the flow, I got burned and bad. So this was hard. But it's just me changing my approach, having my boundaries, my standards, my self-respect, my integrity. But the rest, cruise mode. So again, I don't know what's to come from this. I just know I'm happy. I know I'm free. I'm content. I'm at peace. Like it's a good feeling. And I think this is the liberation that women were truly looking for, not casual sex. Yes, not sexual liberation, like liberation over your whole life where you're not living for this or that, like you're not preparing to live for this for or that and it doesn't even exist yet in your reality. So I'm free and I'm happy and I'm at peace and I'm content and I'm excited because I don't know what's to come from allowing natural order to take over my life. So that's my approach. I get that question so much, and it's I'm not a simple person. Like I put a lot of purpose into how I live my life. Like I put a lot of thought. Like there's a lot of depth. There's a lot of substance. So when it's like when people ask me that, I get that question so much, and I'm like, it's just not a simple answer, you know. But natural order is what I have surrendered to because whenever I've tried to force things, because I have tried. You're not talking to someone that's Miss Perfect where I've never tried to force it, right? No, I have. And I always regretted it. It never went the way that I wanted, and it was a disaster. And so when you switch it from force to surrender, right? And it's kind of similar to when you want a blessing to come into your life and then God finally blesses you, right? Or you want to manifest it, you want a manifestation to come into your life and then you finally receive the manifestation and it's better. It's way better than what you could have. It's way better than what you could have done. You know what I mean? Like, so taking that approach again, changing your perspective again, so that you can get the best outcome, it's going to change your life. But when you try to manipulate and when you try to do things, it typically never goes the way that you truly want or you truly desire. But when you surrender and you really just trust, you have your faith and you just continue to live your life based off of what's currently happening in your life, that is the best place to be in because that's exactly where you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be anywhere else. Nothing else is supposed to be happening for you right now in this moment. Where you are in life is exactly where you're meant to be. So just stay on that. Stay focused on that. Sometimes we like to jump 10 chapters ahead and it's like, well, you're still on chapter 8. You have to get through chapter 8, chapter 9, 10, like you have to go through all these other chapters, but you want to skip to the 20th chapter. And it's just like, no, like slow down. You have to surrender and you have to release control. And if something is truly meant for you, then it will happen. So there's no fear. There's no I'm gonna miss out or anything. If something truly is meant for you, and I only want what's meant for me, because I tried the whole, oh, let me force this with this or force this with this person or that person. It was never meant for me, and it was always a disaster, and I always regretted wasting my time and my energy. So I have accepted that I only want what's for me, and if what's for me is for me and it happens in my natural order that is supposed to happen in my life, then it's going to happen. So what am I stressing about? Why do I have anxiety? Why am I worried about this or that? Or why am I driving myself insane about the what ifs? Live for today. You don't want to look back over your life and you have regret of not living for today. You're trying to live for 10 years from now. Like you need to live for today. And what could today be? Today could be, I don't know, you went for a walk in the park. You decided to go to this concert tomorrow. I mean, like, live for today. Don't live for 20, 30 years from now. Just live for today. And for women, this is so hard for us, right? Because society likes to pressure us. Family likes to pressure us, especially if you get up there in age, or you feel pressured because of age and the biological clock and things like that. But again, it just goes back to these things are out of your control. And the more you fixate on things that are out of your control, it's going to drive you insane. It's going to drive you mad. It's going to drive you miserable. It's going to drive you into depression. And you have to start operating. And I keep saying this because this is when you know you love yourself and you have self-respect. You have to start thinking from a place of what you deserve at all times. At all times. Do you really think you deserve to cause yourself anxiety daily regarding something that's out of your control? Like, why would you do that to yourself? A person that truly loves themselves would not do that to themselves. So maybe your perspective is, I love myself more than driving myself mad about something that is out of my control. That's not fair to me. I don't deserve that. I deserve better than that. So I'm not going to do that to myself. That is truly what self-love is. Self-love is not always about other people. It's really not. It's about how we think towards ourselves, how we view ourselves, what we allow within ourselves to happen, even if it's just how we think. So you need to start understanding that you don't deserve that. So stop doing that to yourself. That's self-love. Like, so many people always ask me, what is self-love? That you're not going to allow yourself to drive yourself insane. You don't deserve that. When you love yourself, you don't treat yourself that way. And it's very similar to, if you had someone in your life, right? You wouldn't, if you truly love yourself, you wouldn't allow that person to drive you mad. So if you wouldn't allow that person to drive you mad out of self-love, why would you allow yourself to drive you mad out of self-love? You wouldn't. So when it comes to how you live your life, when you're truly rooted in self-love, there's a lot of things that you're not going to do within yourself. You're not going to talk crazy to yourself. You're going to be accountable, but with grace, love, compassion, understanding. And in some cases, being accountable is also being nurturing to self. Because I think is it JAW, SOG? I'm unmotivated. Are you unmotivated or are you tired? Allow yourself to rest. Allow yourself to recharge. Sometimes you need that recharge to get that motivation. But see, you want to be in that go, 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 now, 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 now. But maybe God is in preparing you. He has you, or God, spirit, whatever, has you in this season where you need to charge for this motivation. So sleep, rest. Stop allowing yourself to feel guilt because you're resting. You have to charge yourself. Remember to charge yourself. Sometimes we don't have the energy to get it done. So we need to prepare. We need to recharge our energy so we can get it done. So give yourself that space to do that. Sometimes we're so hard on ourselves because yeah, we have a goal and yeah, you want to get after it, but preparation is key. And sometimes that involves rest. And you need to accept that. And as Black women, we struggle with that heavily. We don't think rest is ever a part of the preparation when it comes to our goals, but it's so crucial. It doesn't matter if you're losing weight. It doesn't matter if you're starting a business. It doesn't matter if you're going to school, if you're getting after it within your career. You have to allow yourself that downtime. And then the downtime, maybe God is placing that downtime over your life for ideas to happen. Because when you're in that go, 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 go mentality, ideas, you're running from them. They can't find you because you're not allowing yourself to rest. So rest, be in that season to rest so that you can allow whatever that is supposed to happen to come into your life. And this is coming from someone that was heavily in that hustle, hustle, hustle culture. At one point, I think I had 3 jobs. Yeah, I had 3 jobs and a side hustle. And my sleep schedule was a mess because I thought hustle, hustle, hustle meant success, success, success. And then it got to a point where that wasn't working anymore because I was getting so burnt out. So I had to learn how to take a step back, and I had to learn how to get into the flow and not pressure myself into being proactive 100% of the time. So I had to scale it back. Like, okay, I need to be proactive 80% of the time and 20% I need to rest. But then I noticed when I started to take those rests, the ideas would just come to me. How do you think I changed this YouTube channel name? Solitude, getting grounded, resting, taking spiritual baths. That's how I came up with this YouTube channel name. Late but blooming. It just came to me. So maybe the thing that you're wanting to do, you don't have all the tools yet. You don't even know the name yet because you haven't given yourself that downtime. And when you give yourself the downtime, that's when the best things come to you. I'm telling you. Like, I'll come back from a break and you've seen it where, oh my God, like, oh my gosh, like she has so many great ideas. Oh my gosh, I like what she said here. I like what she said there. It's because I gave myself that solitude so I could hear myself, so I can tap into myself, so I can communicate with myself. Because if you're constantly connected to this, that, or these people constantly, you're missing out on things truly coming to you. Again, natural order over your life. Allow it to happen. Don't force it. And this is when you'll realize that that's purpose. And this is truly your purpose. Because when something comes to you and it just so happens to just come into your path, that's when you know it's truly for you. But when you go looking, you go searching and you go digging, that's when it's not. Like, that's not it. That's not it. So give yourself that rest. Okay. It's very, very, very important. Now let's see. I think I have some more questions I'm going to ask, or I'm going to answer one more. Oh, this is a great question. One more question. At what point did you stop comparing yourself to other people? Ooh, I stopped comparing myself to other people when I came to the realization that other people have not gone through what I have gone through. Seriously. It wasn't fair to me. And again, when you love yourself, you don't do certain things to yourself. Why would you compare yourself to people that have not gone through what you've gone through? That's like you placing yourself at a disadvantage. Why would you do that? I've gone through so much in my life, and I will never forget. Like, I had so many setbacks because of the horrible things. Seriously. So every time a bad thing would happen, it was a setback. And then I would compare myself to where other people were in life. That wasn't fair to me. That wasn't fair to me at all. When I went through my essay, I dropped out of college. And then I had the audacity to compare where my life was to other people. And they didn't go through that. I went through that. So here I am comparing myself to another person and where they are in life to where I'm at in life. And they didn't have to go through that experience. They didn't have to walk away from a full ride basketball scholarship. They didn't just drop out of college and walk away. They didn't have to face that. So why would I compare myself to other people? That's not fair to me. I don't deserve that experience. So I stopped doing that. I have gone through so much. I have had to overcome so much. I would never do myself like that. My journey is my journey. It's my path. I'm not trying to compete with anyone. I'm not trying to keep up with anyone. I'm not even seeking revenge against anyone. I am just trying to get to where I'm going, and I don't even know where I'm going. I'm just going. And I'm just going through life, having experiences, learning and growing from them, and I choose to elevate. That's it. That is all I can do. That's the only thing that's truly in my control. And when bad things happen and they happen and it was out of my control, I get a choice in how I deal with them. I don't get a choice in how they happen to me. Okay? So I get a choice in how I deal with them. So I could have just dropped out of college and said, well, this is the end of my life. I've ruined it. It's over. And it's just over for me. And there's nothing else out there for me. But that's not what I decided to do. I decided to turn my misfortune into something greater. So again, we all get choices. We all get choices. We all get choices in how we deal with things. And just because someone is smiling, someone is glowing, doesn't mean they're not going through anything. It's just we choose to deal with things differently. So while we're going through things, there's a glow, there's a smile, there's a bubble, there's this bubble personality, there's humor, there's love, there's still compassion and understanding for others. But we're still proactively going through things because that's life. And again, back to bad things happen. What is it preparing you for? Start asking yourself that. Or when bad things happen, how is this setting my life up for greatness? Instead of, oh, bad thing happened. I can't believe this is happening to me. And the reason why we do that is because when bad things happen, it triggers us. It triggers our insecurities. It triggers doubt. It triggers anxiousness. It triggers things not going the way that we plan. And we don't like that, especially when you have control issues. It triggers your control issues. It triggers ideas that you wanted for yourself. And now this is happening and it's happening out of your control. And now it's creating a pivotal change in your mind. And you don't like that because that's not the mindset that you had. That's not the mindset that maybe you wanted, but now it's the mindset that you have to take on. So you have to change your perspective. This will change your life and it's going to keep you elevating in life so that you don't ever have to feel stuck in life or feel like nothing's growing in life, nothing's happening in life, there's nothing new. New things are always happening, but if you feel like new things are not happening, it's because you're not changing your perspective. When you change your perspective, you grow. That stagnancy that you feel, it's an energy that comes over your life. It's the worst feeling ever. I don't like stagnancy. I like growth. I really do. And so when I feel that stagnancy come over, I know I need to take a higher perspective. I know I need to self-reflect and do some introspection over my life so that I can get out of this. And sometimes stagnancy comes over your life because you're being pushed to grow. Because stagnancy causes you to be disappointed in life. You're tired of the same old, same old. So why not do something about it? You can do something about it by changing your mindset. You can do something about it by elevating your mindset, by taking on a higher perspective so you can get out of the stagnancy. But you have to want these things. You do. I talk to girls all the time. I mentor girls all the time that come to me. They want to lose weight. They want to do this. They want to do that, but they haven't done it. And I always tell them, you haven't done it because you're not sick and tired. When I wanted to change my life, I was sick and tired. I was tired of myself. I was tired of my life. I was tired of the same thing day in and day out. And I knew I deserved better. I knew better was out there. And then when I was at my lowest, I didn't think better was out there, but I wanted to see if it was. So I'm like, oh, I got to see if it's out there. I mean, it may not be out there, but I'm curious. So I want to see if better is out there. So I'm actively getting myself out of whatever this is so I can see if better is out there. And was there better out there? Oh my God. There was so much sign. Because whenever you're truly in a broken place, in a very dark place, it's very dark. It's very dark. But now that I'm on the other side, it's like I see the sun. People are saying I'm glowing, and people are saying this and that. So it's like not only am I able to experience it, but people are able to experience it through me. And that's a blessing to me because I remember when I didn't think it was out there. I remember when I didn't think better was even out there. But now I have elevated to a point where now I know better is out there. And this motivates you differently. This motivates you from a place of self. It doesn't motivate you from a place of, oh, I want that car, or I want that bag, or I want this, or I want that. This level of motivation is empowerment. Because once you get an ounce of this perspective where you know better is out there and you know life can only get better, it's going to cause you to want to change your perspective when it comes to bad things happening, because you know that better is always out there and that better will always find you. Because once you see a consistency over your life, like there's this pattern that comes in, and when bad things happen, you focus on the better. So you're willing to make the changes so that you can transform and so that you can elevate. So then when another bad thing comes in, you already know, well, better's out there. All I got to do is show up. That's all I got to do. This type of motivation is different. It's different. I also want to encourage the girls too, that sometimes in life, you may be at that point where you don't have the motivation, right? Or your motivation changes. Because for me to even get to this level, I remember when my motivations were the car. I remember at one point the motivation was money. I remember at one point the motivation was a friendship circle, like stupid stuff, to be honest, like stuff that really doesn't really hold real value. But now I'm at a place where it's empowerment. This motivates you differently. And you're able to enjoy the simple things in life. So you tend to be happy more frequently. You're not only happy when you get blessed with materialistic things. You're happy because you're breathing. You're happy because you woke up today. You're happy because the sun is shining on you and it feels great. You feel this sense of radiance within your energetic field, and it just really uplifts your spirit. Or you may even reminisce about how you couldn't experience or you couldn't enjoy the simpler things in life because you thought happiness could only come from materialistic things. And now you're experiencing happiness with rain. You're experiencing happiness with sunlight. You're experiencing happiness with quality time with family. You're experiencing happiness with meeting new people and just having conversations with people of substance. So happiness finds you more frequently because you change your perspective. It may have taken you to get to this point by thinking the things that motivate you are those materialistic things, and that's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that because growth is real. So when I speak about how I used to be, I'm very proud of that version of myself because that version of myself got me to this version of myself. So how could I not like that version? I like every version of myself. The only thing that I wish is that I would say my lowest self, I wish my lowest self could have met this version of myself, because my lowest self, I feel like that version, she deserved to meet this version. But this version knows that version, but that version doesn't know this version. So I want to encourage you that you may be at a low point in your life, but there's a better version of yourself out there, and you should go find her. You should really go out and find her and seek her. She is out there. I'm a witness to it. I know, because I can still see myself visually laying in a bed in a dark room and just bed rotting, to be honest. Like, I still can see that in my mind. But the girl that was bed rotting could not see the girl that I am today. That's the only thing I wish that could happen. So I'm here to encourage you that that better girl, that better version, that higher version of yourself, she's out there. She is. She really is the confident, the secure, the high self-esteem, the love, the grace, the mystery. Like, she's definitely out there. She's out there, but you have to give yourself time to grow. You have to give yourself time to develop. You just have to be proactive. Take it day by day, be in the present moment, release control, surrender to the process, and just keep going. That's it. But I want you to know that she is out there. She is. Like, I am her. So you got to believe that she's out there. So that's all I really wanted to say regarding this live. But take on that higher perspective, change your life. This is how you change your life. You have to change your perspective. Bad things can be setbacks, or bad things can be set ups for greatness to happen. Okay. So take that on, change your perspective. Changing your perspective, like I said, it really does change your life, y'all. So please give this video a thumbs up. I'm not trying to make y'all cry. And I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.